Hey Aries, here's your reading for June 2017. I want to let you know what cards popped out as I was meditating and contemplating on your sign. So we have the Four of Pentacles, the Five of Cups, the Knight of Swords in reverse. Then you popped out, the Emperor. Then we also have the Ace of Swords reversed and the Queen of Wands. Okay, let's go and keep those in mind as we go through the reading. Now I'm going to shuffle, and as I do, I'm going to give you some of your astrological influences month. So the house of family may become dominant this month for you. Domestic affairs and psychological matters may prevail over professional problems or issues. Family matters or problems may require immediate attention. It may take away from some of your career time and investments within career. Uranus being retrograde will force you to review your friendships and eliminate the undesirable ones. And Jupiter's forward moment is favorable for travel this month. For 2017, June, the month, warns you that you may need to control your bad temper during the end of the month. You never know. Also, let's use your disappointments to develop your imagination. Okay, let's see what this is. It's popped out. Okay. The Nine of Wands. It kind of includes a little bit of the bad temper, right? Okay, so you can also use this opportunity this month to develop your knowledge by reading and learning new subjects. In terms of career, it looks favorable for any Aries in trading, stocks and bonds, or investing, and any property dealings. In terms of love, looks favorable for any Aries, that are in any type of love relationship. But with Jupiter being in your house of love, it will definitely impact your love relations. Existing relationships may move faster towards marriage. There shall be more aggression in your love affairs, and it is advisable that you shall allow just love and relationships in general to bloom slowly and naturally. Your libido may be high during this time, so you shall require emotional balance from your lover at this time. Your soulmate may be very delicate due to the influence of Venus upon all of us as a collective. And you shall be careful in handling your lover abrasively or aggressively. You may also be a homebody during this month rather than partying outside. In terms of health, this month may bring a little bit of stress. Also, your energy levels may be kind of low, so it's important to maintain your emotional strength by working towards a peaceful family environment. Your health may be improved by resorting to a proper diet regimen. And this month shall be filled with romantic flings and new love experiences. Okay. Let's get started. Guardian angels of love and light, ancestors lost and known in the seas of time, please intercede into this reading to provide Aries with the clarity and direction as to which he or she seeks. And please grant me, the reader, the objectivity to read the cards and relay all the messages as they're meant to be. Okay. Spirit, please release Aries' first card for the situation at hand and for your current disposition for June 2017. Aries, all of a sudden I'm picking up on a very guarded, very, I'm going to use the word secretive, but very pent up. I think that's kind of what I'm going for, or the adjective I'm going for. Okay. Let's see. Okay, we have the Nine of Cups in reverse. Okay. All right. Spirit, why is the Nine of Cups in reverse here for Aries? Anything else that you'd like to say or add? Has to do with their current disposition this month and the situation at hand. Okay. Okay, so we have, can I grip this card here? The World, Okay, then we also have the Four of Cups. We have the King of Wands here. Okay, please release Aries' second base card for June 2017 regarding situations at hand. Okay. Okay, we have the Five of Wands in reverse. It's a good thing, right? Okay, Spirit, why is the Five of Wands in reverse here for Aries? Why is the Five of Wands in reverse? What does that have to do with the situations at hand regarding the current disposition as well? So we have Death in reverse here. You could be maybe possibly dealing with a Scorpio. Oh, crazy Scorpio, right? Okay. So why is the Five of Wands in reverse here? Okay, these two want to pop out here, so I'm going to go ahead and take them. So we have the King of Pentacles in reverse. And we also have the Ten of Wands in reverse. Okay. Aries, do you just want to, are you done with fighting? You just want to lay your wands down, right? So I'm kind of picking up. You're over it. Okay. Let's move this a bit more down. Okay, what's in Aries' thoughts? What's crowning them? Anything else you'd like to reveal regarding the situations at hand? Spirit, anything? Anything else? We need to complete the story. Okay. We have the Moon card. Okay, then we have the Knight of Cups. We have the, sorry guys, the Queen of Pentacles. Then we also have the Page of Cups. Okay. Okay, so we're coming into the reading, Aries, with the Three of Wands here. Okay. So Aries, we're trying to make a decision, right? Which way to go? Which wand are we going to take? Which decision do we make? Or which one do we like to take? Which journey will we like to go down? Okay. Right, Aries, so I see like I'm sensing a little bit of unhappiness in terms of here in this little spread. Maybe I feel like you were kind of feeling like some of the starts or some of the creativity of your decisions, or maybe some of the plans that you have put into place, I feel like you kind of don't really think that they are manifesting properly, or that they are manifesting basically how you expect them to, given that we have the King of Wands here. You know, he's someone who understands and who knows and who maintains and who's a master of their creativity, and they know how to apply it, they know how to keep it, they know how to delegate it. But when we have it next to the Four of Cups here, it's kind of, you know, has to do a little bit of mourning, a little bit of, maybe not a, you know, not appreciating the small things versus the bigger things that are more kind of, at the forefront or in your viewpoint. But we also have it with the world here. It kind of seems, Aries, like maybe you're not realizing some of the things that you are doing, there is good in it. And it's some of the right things to do, because I feel like maybe you do feel like you need a change in your life, right? But I also feel that maybe the way that you're perceiving the outcome or the results of what it is that you are doing or manifesting, every single box is not being checked off, I feel, and it's making you feel almost like you're running in place. Now, I don't think that you should feel like that, because, I mean, the fact that you are getting things done and the fact that you're running, whether it's in place or not, you're actually beginning it, you're starting it. And I'm kind of also getting the feeling, the sense from the spread here, that maybe you're trying to come up with new ways as to how to apply your emotions to your situations, maybe how to control them, maybe how to use them to your advantage. And I am seeing that you are realizing, or you're starting to come to the point where, yeah, you are seeing that this is creating or occurring actually really good results, that they are. But I kind of feel, Aries, that maybe you're not completely truthful in terms of with yourself, with your emotions. I feel like, yeah, you are working on them, and they do seem favorable. Like that, the favorable results are coming out of it. But I feel like you're on this quest to understand them. But I feel that maybe when I say you're not being completely honest with them, I'm not saying yet you're being deceitful or anything, but I feel like you're holding back. I feel like there are certain aspects of yourself and of your emotions that you are not maybe working towards, or you don't really want to admit them to yourselves, whatever they may be. And I feel like this is going to prevent you from moving forward. It's kind of interesting that we have the Knight of Cups here, and then we have the Page of Cups. And right between it, we have the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles, she has that environment. She maintains an environment where stability is possible, where it can be maintained, where stability, where it's at, and how we use it, and how we apply it, and how we are able to provide an environment where we allow more opportunities to come through. But I feel like since it's between the Page of Cups and between the Knight of Cups, I feel like, and then next to the Moon here, I feel like you are on that quest, but you feel, or you're seeing that things aren't happening maybe as fast or as effective as you want them to. So therefore, you're having to look back and say, okay, what am I doing wrong? What am I doing that is preventing me from getting to where it is that I want to get to? That's why when the Moon card is here, I feel like Moon card has to do with deception, also has to just do with basic emotions, just being emotionally, stifled in a sense, and also has to do with anxiety. It also has to do with being pent up, And I feel like these emotions are being pent up. And I feel like you're not completely being honest with yourself in terms of how they play out into your life, or in terms of how they work, right? Or how they affect what's going on. And I feel like that's why maybe the Nine of Cups is here in reverse as well, where you feel like you don't have that abundancy of your emotions, or you feel like you don't have control over them completely. I do see progress, but I do see a lot of deterrence. I see a lot of apprehension. And I feel like the universe is asking you just to trust, that you have to take that into consideration, that things aren't always going to be perfect right away. And Aries, I'm an Aries moon, so I understand. It's all about the action, all about getting there quick. We want to accomplish it and move on. But sometimes in terms of emotion, we cannot accomplish things right away. Working on yourself is one of the hardest things that you can accomplish, or that you can do, because you never accomplish working on yourself, Aries. It's never going to be you're never going to reach that goal and then it's just over. Like, that's not how it works. Working on yourself is something that you would do for the rest of your life. And it's not something that ends. And there's no ending point to it, because as you continue to work on yourself, you're going to discover and you're going to find new areas that you need to work on, new areas that are continually being re-examined, that are going to cause you to think about them once again. So the fact that if you have this notion that you will reach that goal and that's it, you shouldn't do that, because I feel like you're kind of not being honest with yourself in terms of how your emotions play out, because it's never going to end. It's something you're constantly going to be working on. And I feel like maybe with the Four of Cups here, not realizing that that small aspect has to do with a lot of how you then manifest them, how you approach them, the creativity that you put in terms of how to apply them, how to transform them, has to do with that. But I do feel, Aries, that with the Five of Wands here and the Ten of Wands being in reverse, both being in reverse here, I feel like you want to lay your wands down. You're done. You don't want to fight anymore. You're not trying to, you're not trying to be that crazy person that maybe you feel like you are, that you feel like you have been. You're trying to find new ways of communicating. I feel like you're trying to find new ways of expressing yourself. But the King of Pentacles is in reverse here, but it's the Queen of Pentacles is upright in your thoughts. So, I'm not saying that a king comes before a queen, but, monarchs and things of this nature, usually the king has the final say, right? Usually and traditionally, so don't beat me up for that. I'm just saying, I'm making a point. But it's funny how the king is in reverse, but the queen is upright. So I feel like that's the reason as to why when I'm saying that you are trying to reach the finish line, but there's no finish line. And I believe that the finish line is somewhat there, or it can be there when you somewhat master that part of yourself. When you realize that there's always going to be the need to change and to transform. And that is the reason why when you reach that point is when you'll come to the conclusion of, okay, I'm always going to need to transform. But I feel like when you see that there is that a finish line exists when it really doesn't, that's why death is in reverse here, is because the transformation is being hindered. It's being pushed back. It's being held. It's apprehension. Because when we don't see the finish line, especially Aries, when you don't see it, it's hard to imagine that there ever is going to be a finish, and then therefore, I don't want to say give up, but then you just kind of want to move on. You feel like the energy that you apply there isn't worth it, or that why am I doing it if there's no completion of it? But like I said, when it comes to your emotions, there's never going to be. And emotion is a big thing, for you. It's something that is maybe going to affect a lot of your life, right? I mean, it affects everyone's life. But I feel like with Aries especially, being very impulsive, being very passionate about the things that you do and the energy that you put towards certain creations, put towards certain ideas, that you're going to have to just accept that fact. And I also see that, or I'm starting to feel and pick up on that, you need to just kind of relax a little bit. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. Don't put too much, don't pile too much on your plate at one time, because then I feel like it'll be too much. And then that's when then you'll kind of revert back to maybe the way that you used to be, or the old traits will pop up again, because then you feel like there wasn't any accomplishment. But I feel as though the decision that you feel like you need to make is, are you going to stick with continually working on it, or are you going to continue to just let things happen the way that they do? But most importantly, Aries, are you going to allow it to happen? That's the most important part. Because even though you're constantly working on it, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're never going to accomplish anything at all. And that also doesn't necessarily mean that you won't change at all. Because there is change involved. It's going to be a slow process, but it's always going to be slow because, like I said, there's no finish. So it's always going to be one little step at a time. And, you know, being Aries, we don't like that. We like fast, fast, move, 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 right? And I feel like this month, you know, your vitality is up. You have found that now you feel like you're no longer stuck, kind of, in a sense. Your environment, you're able just to move quickly and keep moving. But this is where the world, the universe, I believe, is trying to tell you, kick back, Jack, relax. It's okay. You don't need to rush. This is the one aspect that you can't rush. There's no shortcut to this. If you do take the shortcut and you continue, or you want to go around the feeling or the emotion instead of going through it, you're going to find areas that you're going to constantly manifest the same thing over and over. It's going to affect you the same way. Is because then if you don't work on it, what do you think the universe is going to present you with? They're going to present you with opportunities that it's going to show you time and time again what it is that you're putting out, what it is that you are drawing towards you, what are you exuding that other people are picking up on, and what relationships or what circumstances do you become involved in that constantly shows you what it is that you believe and what it is that you're thinking. I also kind of pick up on that you do, like I said, want to lay your wands down. You are tired of fighting. You're tired of arguing. You don't want to do it anymore, especially over the small petty things. But I feel like this month is really focusing on that. It's focusing on how you can change the way that you approach things, the way that things start, the way how they end. And also areas I want to say I'm picking up on too. Throughout your situations or circumstances where you're trying to apply these new ways of, you know, dealing with things, see and pick up on people's reactions to it, people's facial expressions, the social cues. Pick up on that so that you can then realize where you need adjustment, where you need to transform some of your approaches. Because then when you do this, Aries, and you are constantly on the search, in moderation, on the search for how to improve yourself in terms of your emotions or how you approach situations, and you pick up on these social cues, it's going to help you, because then it's going to constantly be something to work at. So therefore, you feel like, oh, I've worked on this for so long, now I don't see a finish line, but you'll never see the finish line because, like I said, you're constantly going to be picking up these cues and constantly working on them. So it's going to be something that you're going to continually work at, and you'll continue to see small results, and that'll then fuel you and drive you to continue on moving forward. And it won't be like A to B and then that's it. You know, it'll be A1, A2, A3, and it'll be something to work on, you know, all the way through it. But I do feel like you are making the right decision, but I feel like not with the Four of Cups here, not realizing or seeing the small accomplishments is preventing you from transforming completely, or from transforming or working on it towards transforming some aspects of yourself or of your emotion. And I feel like that's really deterring it from you. Like you're kind of not seeing the hope in it, but you should see the hope in it, because it's coming too, right? It's coming forth, but you just have to have some patience. Like I said, something that's not going to end, and it's something you're going to be constantly working on. And I feel like this is when you do that and you don't see what it is that you want as soon as you want, that's where the Four of Cups comes in, and that's where you feel like, is it really worth it? Screw it. Why am I going to do it? And I feel like that's why the Nine of Cups is in reverse here for you, because you don't feel like you don't have that emotional stability in terms of, you know, how you handle your emotions, how you take them in, how you understand them. Because when you understand your emotions, Aries, a lot better, or you understand how your triggers, how they come about, then you give yourself the chance to then know what you want out of relationships. You give yourself the chance to express to your partner or to people of interest what you want and how you expect it. And you also know what you deserve. But if you don't create and understand the creation of your emotions and how they manifest, how are you then going to be able to give that to someone, or have boundary lines, or put those boundary lines, and also having respect for the boundary lines of other people? Because then you have the understanding of your own boundary lines and why you don't like them crossed. And therefore, in turn, you may not cross other people's boundary lines so frequently. Because, you know, Aries, sometimes that's a problem. That tends to happen. And it's a lot of passion. That's what it is. But it's not perceived from people as so, that it's passion. They see it as you just don't give shit, and you're just crossing my boundary lines, and F you and the screw yous and all that crap starts. And then knowing us Aries, we are like, oh no. And then it's like, you want the fire, let's bring it. And then it's just upheaval begins, and but it all has to do with not understanding your emotions, because then you understand what you want and what you need out of life, and what you need out of relationships, and what you need personally from them and out of other people. And it also teaches you about other people's emotions. It's a win-win, Aries, but this is going to constantly be something to work on. It's going to constantly be something that will never end. And I know that when I say never, it's like, oh my God. I get it. It's in my emotions. I understand. So yeah, I mean, this is for Aries Sun, but imagine some Aries Moons that are watching this out there. Oh my God. It's like, oh my God, what do you mean there's no ending? No, I don't know what that means. But just be patient. It's okay. I see that, with the Five of Wands and the Ten of Wands here, both being in reverse, you don't want to do it anymore. You're over it. You don't want to argue anymore. You just, not that you want to give in, and don't look at it as a sign of weakness. I just feel like you're over it. And when you start to, this Aries is awareness, right? When awareness happens, that's when change begins, because we can't change unless we're aware of what it is that we need to change. But I also feel, Aries, that, you have to be careful with coming up with maybe stories in your head too. Don't think of things as being bad or other people's intentions. Sure, be aware of it, of course. And, you should always be looking out for your best interests, or how to not get hurt. Look, CYA for yourself, but at the same time, don't set yourself up for thinking that everything is going to be negative, right? Because then that's when the emotions kick in, and then that's when the quickness and the fastness of offering that emotion, or putting it, seeing that the secrets may be there or some deception may be there, then will cause you to have a quest onto how to approach or how to apply that emotion towards situations like stability, and towards situations where stability comes into play, where the requirements of what you need out of life, maybe your job or people, situations. Then when things get misconstrued and crap starts to happen and fall down, then maybe that's when you'll say, oh man, I didn't do that the right way. Like, crap, why did I say that? Why did I do that? I know that I'm not supposed to do that. And then that's when the Page of Cups comes back up, because then now we're going to have to go back to square one to see how we can apply this. But this can all be avoided if we just work on it throughout the time, and we realize, we pick up other people's social cues of how we handle it and how we delegate it. And I feel like this month, this is what the decision, given that it's Wands, the Three of Wands here, is about making a decision. It's about the beginning stages of making it. You see how two are behind him, but he's picking that one, which is okay. But is that one the right one, though? It can be. And also see how he has 1 foot on the ground, but then he has 1 more foot on top of the rock. That's not sure, or being sure which decision is the right one. That's being in limbo, saying, I want to go forward, but how am I going to get my foot off this rock? Like that, in a sense. And see how all the wands are on the floor, or in the ground, versus, none of them are on top of a rock. But his foot is on the rock because he wants to stay on that precipice. He's trying to decide what he wants to do and how he wants to go about it. And I feel like that's why we have the World here. And it's upright for you, Aries, because they're saying, trust us. See, it's all the signs, kind of, in a sense. It's saying, we'll help you along the way. All you have to do is trust, and all you have to do, Aries, is ask what it is that you want. But you have to ask what you want, but you have to know what you want, right? And that's an understanding of your emotions. Because when you ask for what you want and you know what you deserve, where do you think that comes from? It comes from you understanding what it is you require and what you need. So I feel like this month is all about that. You're going to have to dig deep and see what you need and what you want out of life. Sorry, let me clear these cards. What you want out of life, but you have to remain strong. And you have to, know what it is that you want. And you have to know that that's what you require. That's the most important part. It's understanding it. Okay, Aries. Let's look at the bottom of the deck. I want to pull it, you know, and just see what comes at the bottom instead of pulling or instead of popping cards out. Let's just see what they have at the bottom of the deck first. I'm kind of curious. Let me just take these out of focus here. Okay. Yeah, you see, you have to stay strong and you have to know what you want and what you deserve, Aries. And it starts with understanding, right? It starts with being on that quest to understanding it, okay? This is one of the slower nights, but it's okay. Like I told you, it's going to be slow. It's not going to be a fast process, nor will it ever be. It's never fast for anyone understanding the emotions because they're constantly developing, they're constantly, you know, transforming. This, and that was in your thoughts that you got the Knight of Cups. And then here we have, you know, the Strength in reverse. Could maybe be possibly dealing with the Leo. Could be here too, possibly. Yep, see, there you go. It's because we need to remember to have confidence and to celebrate. You know, the Six of Wands here. This is having confidence and this is celebrating. And where also does confidence come from? Knowing what you can bring, what you can deliver to the situation. And when your confidence builds, it makes you a better person than other people on the outside can then celebrate with you. But you have to allow yourself to reach that confidence, to reach that goal before anyone else can recognize it. You know? Yep. There, yeah. See, because then you become a master of your emotions. You then become that person who is understanding of situations and of things that you need and things that other people require, and you can meet them halfway in terms of your emotions and in terms of being understanding, not doing certain things because you understand it. You've been there, you know, that kind of thing going on. Because then we're honest with people. You know, we don't feel like we have to lie to people. We feel like we don't have to hold ourselves at a certain distance because we know that no people can no longer hurt us because we only allow it. But it all begins, Aries, with an understanding of the emotions. Okay, that's when the lies and the deceit stop. And when the Seven of Swords is in reverse, it means you no longer have to hide. You no longer have to keep it from anyone. You no longer have to walk around like, okay, I know there's this side of me, but I'm choosing not to work on it, so I'm not going to go ahead and show it. It's going to come out regardless. And it'll come out at the horrible worst times very unconsciously, you know? Okay, Aries, so I feel like that was majority of the messages there, I feel. Yeah, so let's work on it, okay? Let's not rush into things. Like I said, it's not going to be or ever be a finish. I know it scares you. Get it. I'm one too, I know. But you have to constantly work on it. And also, Aries, you have to acknowledge your emotions too. You can't just keep going and moving forward and thinking that it's never going to come up, that it's never going to be a problem. Because it is when you go around it and you don't go through it. You have to go through it. It sucks and it's not cool, but that's the way that it works. Okay, so stay strong, okay? Because when you don't stay strong, you feel like there's no point in doing it. It's having that air of optimism, you know? Because when we stay strong and we work on it, we then see that the celebration can come. We then see that we can handle it. We then see that it's worth it. We build confidence in ourselves in different areas of life. We allow them to come in at that point. Then we can master our emotions. We can be that person that people can trust and people
can then say, I can go to that person. He knows or she knows a lot about this. And then this is when you know what you need and what you expect out of life and out of relationships and partnerships. Speaking of trust, you know, the Seven of Swords in reverse here. This is having trust, knowing that things are going to be fine, knowing that other people aren't against you or trying to get to you, which is why I believe that the Moon card is here as well. It's trying to tell you it's okay. Don't have so much anxiety. Don't be so nervous about other people's intentions and things of this nature. Relax. Don't be anxious. Remember when I said I feel like I'm like pent up, I'm held back? You know, this can
mean, that there are secrets that are being withheld. And it's funny that the Seven of Swords is in reverse here with your advice, So this is in your thoughts, but then this is the outcome when you do it properly. And also, I think at the beginning of the reading, I said one of your influences was to use, what's against you, or your sadness, or your disappointments. That's what it was. Use your disappointments to develop your imagination. When you develop your imagination, then we'll have strength upright. Because when we reach this point is when strength is upright. But we cannot reach this point when you don't have the strength and when you don't make the proper decisions to move forward and you continually have your foot on that rock. Take it off the rock. I know it's unknown, but it's a journey. And, Aries loves journeys. Let's do it, okay? Well, you have to make that first step and you have to trust yourself, most importantly, okay? And then, like I said, the world, the universe is going to give you something to trust. They're going to present you with opportunities to use that trust towards something good. And then that's when the celebration will come in handy. And when you can celebrate yourself and the confidence levels that you built. But it begins with making a decision, no longer waiting. Okay, Aries? I feel like that's it. I feel like that's the reading, a little short than usual. But I think it was good. It was pretty straightforward. I'm gonna leave a link in the description for my to my website. I changed my prices in terms of my readings. The private reading also with the astrology reading. Yeah, I called this one General and Love because it can go either way, But yeah, I think also I'm going to. You're the first one to know. I'm just thought of this right now. I think I'm going to create or offer a love spread as well. And any of you who took the love spread with me, or the EXO special with me, you know what kind of love spread I'm talking about. I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I may make that one maybe a little, discount the price or decrease it a little bit more because I feel like people need a lot of guidance when it comes to that. So yeah, okay. All right, Aries, work on the emotions. You got this. You're starting to do it. You don't want to fight anymore. I see it. You don't want to argue. You're just trying to have some damn peace. But it begins with understanding what you want and what you need. But it begins with you, not with the other person. Okay? I'll either see you mid-month or next month. We'll see how things go planetary-wise for, my little Virgo butt. But we'll see. All right, Aries? We'll see ya.